Hi everyone, it's Tina Newby here with Florida Luxury Realty. Welcome to another segment of Tina Talk. And today I have Melissa Mabe from Melrose Enterprise come and join us. Let's welcome her into our Tina Talk. Hi Melissa,
Hey, hi Tina, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
All right, could you give us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. I'm the president of Melrose Enterprises, and what that is, it's a full service event management company. We do everything from galas and fundraisers to large scale special events like festivals.
Okay, and during this time, what is going on? Especially, we've been closing down for a while now, and now we're starting to get back up. Have you seen any change, anything different, anything that we have to know about that is
Mhm.
different than before?
Sure. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit of what's happening in the industry right now in terms of getting some guidelines from the government and how things are going to look different the next time you go to an event. Let's start with that, and then we'll kind of work down to what you can do at home for your special event that you have, your picnic, your barbecue. So, starting at the top, if you have gone to any festivals, you remember long lines to the bathroom and long lines for food and long lines for beer and everything else. Things are going to change. It's going to start looking a little bit different. The guidance that we're getting, and I take this from the Center for Disease Control, and that's been brought into some of the industry partners like the Event Safety Alliance, and they're recommending that we have social distancing in our lines, including bathroom lines. So you might see as you're standing in line for the portalettes or for the restrooms, you're going to start seeing things on the ground or signage that'll be spaced 6 feet apart so that you will have to wait in the line and you will have to follow lines. We're on the way things are going right now, it looks like there might even be a monitor, yeah, like a hall monitor at the bathrooms, making sure that everybody's social distance, and that there will be lots of stations for hand washing or sanitizing. You're going to see those spread out throughout the events now, whereas before it was just by the either the food areas or the bathroom areas. Now it's going to be throughout the festival. You're going to have opportunities to clean your hands. Another thing you're going to see is people are not going to be able to touch merchandise. So if you go to an arts and crafts show, you're not going to be able to pick things up. They're recommending that only the store or the merchandise seller show them to you until you make a purchase, and then you're allowed to touch them. So those types of things are going to be very important as we move forward, for people to understand and not get upset with, because unfortunately this is the new normal and everybody wants to be safe, but while we're having fun. So the other thing, when you bring that down, for instance, I don't know if everybody's heard in the news, places like Soup Nation, Sweet Tomatoes, because they're buffets, they're closing down. Well, we're going to see that at parties as well. So you're going to be thinking about that when you do your next barbecue. People are going to be a little funny eating food that other people have just taken. They've just served food themselves, and then somebody else is going to have to hold on to that because it's all about touch points, right? So holding on to that spoon that somebody else just held on to is going to be, for some people, is going to be a real issue. So instead, you might want to think about plated meals. Everybody gets a plate. They tell you what they want. You put it on the plate. You hand it to them, rather than having them serve it themselves. It's just that extra step that's already being looked at by restaurants. Of course, it's also being looked at by special events. If you go to a conference, for instance, if your business is holding a conference, those are types of things that you have to look at. Um, there's an institute called the American Industrial Hygiene Association. Who knew? But they have specific guidelines for how you clean that type of utensil, how to give out utensils. No longer will they be kept in a little cup. and everybody pulls one out. No, from now on, you roll them in a napkin so that everybody gets their individual set. So there's lots of things like that, just little changes in our behavior that are going to be important as we move forward in reopening our and getting back to some sense of normalcy. You're going to be seeing, okay, so Memorial Day is coming up and people are going to want to do picnics and parties and barbecues. So start thinking about that. What do you need to keep clean? How do you need to keep your utensils clean, your doorknobs, making people clean, take their shoes off before they come in your house. Those types of things are going to become normal. And I know it seems to a lot of people that it's an extreme measure, but it's really in the public interest to keep each other safe.
And I want to point out too that, all these little things that you mentioned, it's gonna be, you're gonna be annoyed with it. But
Mhm.
you have to remember, everybody are going through it, everybody have to follow it. So, just be patient with each other and be kind
Mhm.
with each other. I think that
Exactly.
it's so
Exactly.
important to sometimes step back. I know we have our moment of frustration because this is
Mhm.
new to us. This is extra work that we really have to think about now because we're not used to it. But please, guys, be kind to each other and just, if you're upset, just take a deep breath and think that the person next to you are feeling the same way. So when
Exactly.
we are kind and we are patient with each other, I think that will help as well.
Right. And also know that the events that you go to aren't doing this to make your life inconvenient. Believe me, we are going to extreme lengths to keep that level of fun and convenience and just joy for you there. That's our job. But our job is also to make sure that you're safe and that everyone
Definitely,
around you is safe. So
definitely.
keep that in mind when you see a sign that says 6 feet apart, please, or wear your mask. If a store asks you to wear a mask. Um, we're all just trying to get through this as best we can, and better days are coming.
Definitely, I believe that too, and I think that, like you said, sometimes, it is an inconvenient, and there are people, there's always, people who think, oh, wearing masks, not wear masks, but you know, I think that, just respect each other and just to, you feel how you feel, and other people, the reality is, we don't know a lot about this virus, and I think, just try to be cautious. It's all that we can do right now.
Right.
So, Melissa, so I know that all the events are doing all these steps to kind of keep us safe.
Mhm.
What
Right.
do you recommend us doing, before we go out to these events? Is there something that we can do ourselves to help
Absolutely.
with the process to help keep us safe?
Absolutely. Just be aware of where you are. Who's around you? Are there children? Are there older adults? Keep your social distance. Back up 2 paces if you're in line. It's okay. Wear your mask if they tell you to wear your mask. Bring hand sanitizer. We always used to say it at a festival, bring a hat, bring some water, and bring your sunscreen. Well, now you can add bring your hand sanitizer to your kit. And you're going to see that now we're rolling out. You're going to see a lot of professional sports teams are starting to roll out their seasons. And while they're going to start without an audience, they're going to gradually let you come in. Especially, they're predicting that football will be almost at full capacity by the time it's ready to open. So just be really aware of what you touch and how many times you clean your hands. So that's really the most important thing. And please cough into your elbow.
Okay.
So those are just little things you can do. Um, and just like you said, be kind, be polite. Know that this is not forever, but it's certainly something we want to look at for at least the next year, if not more, until we have a good vaccination program in place. Um, and we start to see less and less of this disease.
Okay. So, in your industry, have it been, do you guys have to do a lot of classes to kind of learn what is the best way to keep us safe?
Yes. Yes, suffice to say, my days right now consist of sitting in on numerous webinars from the CDC all the way down to the Florida Restaurant Lodging Association to the Hygiene Association to the Event Safety Alliance. So, yes, and I have spent also, I have to give a big shout out to our Visit St. Pete Clearwater and Visit Tampa. All of the visitors bureaus have done a great job of putting education out to people, just to learn about how to interact with our tourists. So that's another big side of my business as a tourism industry. So knowing how to communicate with them, because some places don't have the restrictions that we do. So when they come into our town, we want them to know this is how we're doing things.
And that can be hard too because, they don't understand. So I just feel like, right now, just be kind to each other, right? And understanding that,
Exactly.
yeah.
Right, and be kind, help each other, be courteous, and let's have fun. Let's look at a way to get back to the fun safely.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And thank you so much for spending your time. I know that, at this time, everybody is concerned, but I think it's important to have you on because you spending all these time, learning this from expert to expert. And it's important to know that too, that, you're not just saying this, you're actually taking class, you're taking the time to
Mhm.
follow all these guidelines and study all these guidelines. And what you're telling us is what the guideline is.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if anybody ever wants to, I can give you some of the links if you want to put them up on your site, and people can go take a look at them for themselves and see what's being recommended that might help them in their decisions as they decide to go back to events or have their own.
Definitely. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put your information at the end of the video and, all the website links so that, yeah, people, if they're thinking about having a little picnic or get together for all the event coming up, because I know
Mhm.
it's hard, we haven't seen our friends and family for a while. So I think that when we do have a chance or, go back to normal, that's the first thing that we want to do. But at the same time, we have to remember that being safe is important, so I
Absolutely.
definitely think that that will be beneficial to everyone.
Right, right.
Well, thank you
Okay.
so much, Melissa. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you.
It's been my pleasure, Tina. Thank you so much for having me on.
Definitely. Thank you.
All right, take care.
Bye.